What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, and welcome to another weekly Friday YouTube live stream. I missed you guys last week. We were out in Crater Lake, Oregon. I've got my first dose of the vaccination this past Tuesday, so feeling really good. Feeling really good right now, actually. I'm having a good day. And today I've got a phenomenal guest for you. When he emailed me, he said, Steve, watching some of your content, we've been able to 5x revenue and take a look at where all these in-app purchases are coming from. So we're going to walk through with this guest exactly what he did with this app and how he's been able to 5x revenues. And we got some charts to show you guys because I know everything that I like to share is based off of data, not just opinions. So without further ado, let me introduce the guest. His name is Nick Bonatsakis, and he is a iOS developer and mobile consultant. And you can learn more about it by checking out his website that I'm going to pull up as well. It is velocityraptor.co, velocityraptor.co. I'll link it all up into the YouTube description. But Nick, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Steve. It's great to be here. Excited to talk to everybody.
Nick, tell us a little bit about your app while I pull it up and then some of the changes that you've been able to make. We'll get through some of the questions too.
Sure. So it's a pretty basic vacation countdown app. So my wife's actually a travel agent. So,
nice.
We're trying to do something to sort of do something fun and sort of also kind of promote her business in the process. And so my initial goal with it was kind of, let's just get some brand awareness out for her business and maybe get some leads and that sort of thing. But it actually ended up becoming way more popular. And I think, so the basic idea is for a vacation. This one's kind of specific to like Disney, Universal. That's kind of her niche. So that's kind of why I picked that. But it's like a basic app where you can put in your vacation and it'll give you like a countdown for it. It has like a widget that you can put on your home screen with the iOS 14 feature. You can set like a custom wallpaper. And then it does some other cool things where it'll give you sort of reminders for certain to-dos that you'd have to do for these sorts of trips. So for anyone that's done like a Disney trip in like the last like decade, it's pretty complicated, the number of things you have to book and when you have to book them and all that stuff. So it kind of helps you with that too, and gives you reminders and push notifications for all that stuff. So that's kind of the app in a nutshell. And yeah, you can see the screenshots here. That's kind of shows off everything there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull up some of the stuff. So you want to walk us through some of the changes you've been able to make, some of these revenue growth, and then some of the download growth too?
Yeah. So when I started out the app, I was, the revenue wasn't that great. I really didn't optimize it too much. I had and still have just one in-app purchase to unlock some customization features for wallpapers. It removes like a banner thing that I have with a little promotion that kind of, it doesn't actually promote. It's not like an ad provider. It's just like a promotion for for our email list and for booking a vacation and that sort of thing. But I wasn't really trying too hard on sort of optimization from the very beginning. So I wanted to just like get it out there and see how it started, how it was going. Price wise, I experimented kind of a little bit early on. But I don't so I started at 99 cents and then kind of raised it up a little bit early on, and it didn't seem to do much, but that was when I only had like 15 to 20 downloads a day. I spent some time on like ASO and did some Apple search ads. Actually spent a lot of time on search ads and got that really tuned. And once I got the downloads closer to like 80, 90, 100 a day, then I was able to increase the price. And it seemed like, I don't know if I was getting better users, but like it seemed like that actually helped a lot. It had the opposite effect. I thought I'd get like maybe fewer purchases, but at a higher price, and it would kind of balance out. But it seemed like it actually ended up getting more purchases, which was awesome. And then some of the things that we had talked about on email that I sent you that I did based on some of the stuff you had mentioned in the past, the big sort of the Mac Daddy, it was kind of making an onboarding screen with the in-app purchase and kind of really highlighting what the sort of what the advantages are. I used that trick that you had mentioned about using the word free a lot in the
Hold on, Nick, let's go through the
we can go through it. We can take a look at that stuff later. But yeah, I think that chart you showed was kind of like showed that like far and away, most of my purchases come from this onboarding thing now, which is crazy. So yeah, so this is the onboarding. You kind of pick here, like which, like where where you're actually going, because there are a few things that change. Like I default the screen to a different thing, and then the background, and then this is like kind of
this is nice, man.
your date.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
so
pick a date.
Anyone that's curious, the other point of this app was for me to kind of do a full Swift UI like app, and so this is like the first app I've done that was like soup to nuts Swift UI, and it was actually really fun to build. So this is so like you can get notifications for like
nice.
When your trip's coming up. So I'll send you like 6 months out, like, oh, your trip's coming up soon, and that sort of thing. And then Siri.
So here's the premium one.
Yep. So yeah, it's I wasn't expecting anything one way or the other. I was like, I just had heard you guys talking about it, and I was like, you know what, let me at least try it and see how it goes. And I did some analytics to see, like, so I figured out how to make it so that I could attribute every single purchase to which screen, like the source where it came from in the app. And yeah, this one just kills it. Like, I was surprised that so many people are willing to just plunk down right in the beginning. I think part of that is just like, if you start with high quality, like the App Store description and the screenshots, and the onboarding is really good and polished, then I think by the time they get here, it's, my guess is that people are like, okay, this is going to be a good app, so let's just do it up front and go.
This is amazing. What I was telling you, Nick, before we get recorded with, I was talking to a past guest, and I was like, you got to have your pricing page during the onboarding process, kind of like how Nick has it right here. And she was like, well, I heard from another consultant that he didn't like it. It was too soon. And I was like, wait, is that based on data or opinion? Because mine's based on data. And she was like, all right, well, we'll add it back in. And I want to make sure that as you guys start talking to different consultants, always ask them, because I always like to preface my advice on, there's no data to support this. This is just my opinion, so that it's just opinion and for you to test. And when I have data, I'll say, this is data driven. So I'm glad you put this together, and it is astounding. Like, it's twice as much as everything else. And it's about 50%. I mean, more than 50% of your purchases are through this onboarding process.
Yep.
Right. You have the numbers. Totally. Yeah. So I'll throw that numbers right there. So I'm going to hit no thanks. I'm assuming the wallpaper. I love that. Is this what the wallpaper is right here?
Yeah.
The remove ads.
Yep. So you can remove the ads, and then you can use that. That lets you do like custom wallpapers. Yeah. So this just brings up kind of like I have like a stock kind of, in-app purchase screen thing.
I like this. And then you said the word free. You added the word free on there.
Yeah, it really helped. I mean, it seemed like it did. I kind of implemented a lot of this stuff sort of at the same time. In retrospect, maybe it would have been better to do it like in phases, just to see like what moved the needle the most. But at the end of the day, I was happy because the revenue, the downloads went up. So,
well, Nick, I have stats that we did this for one of our clients, and we increased revenues by adding the word free, just like you've done here, to a few of the bullet points. We increased conversions by 11%.
Yeah.
Nothing else changed, but just adding that word free onto there. So
yeah. So that's an awesome little hack, and thanks again for that. for that.
Yeah,
tip.
I don't know where I shared it. I thought I was trying to keep it hush hush, but I'm glad you brought it to light.
Yeah. So one other thing that I'd like to highlight in terms of like a great way to get downloads is I have this sharing mechanism here. So if you tap the share, basically what it does is it will take like it'll give you like a nice like sort of prepackaged screenshot that's like a square rectangle thing. You can share it on text or Instagram or whatever. And I track this also. And you can use.
Oh, look at that! It looks beautiful. I mean, it's hard for people to see, but maybe I can save image and then do it that way.
Yeah. So, you can. So the App Store like analytics actually has like a way where you can make these marketing links, but it's also really good at just tracking attribution automatically. So I found that like that actually generates a ton of downloads. And it's mostly through SMS. So like I see that like my top app refer is actually the Messages app. So I get a lot of people send that to their, I don't know, friends and family or whatever. And then I put a link like alongside of it to the app. And so a lot of people come in that way.
How do you track that with the app link? Is it just using the campaign link within?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I
Mhm.
don't even think it's necessary, because I think Apple's now, like, if you go into App Analytics, even if you don't use the campaign link, it'll show you app refers, and so you'll
Oh,
see
okay.
like Facebook or messages or whatever.
Got it.
Even without that, you can get a pretty good idea of like how many people are coming in, which is awesome.
Got it. Let me try to see if this works. I just want to see what the campaign link looks like. I'll send an email to myself.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, there
I
it
can't
is.
remember the name,
There, you can
CT,
see.
whatever sort of thing.
Yeah, CT countdown app referral. So
Yeah.
you've set that campaign link up there. There you go.
Yep.
Nice. Nick, that was awesome. Anything else you want to cover within the app that you?
I think the only other thing that I think has really helped is like, I do widgets. Like, you don't have to show it, but like I think adopting like a new feature, because when I
Mm,
did this app, it was like around I think I released it in October, and iOS 14 had just come out, and there really weren't none of the other countdown apps that I knew of had widgets. So like adopting that, I think, helped a ton in terms of like making the app stand out against everything else that was out there. Because I'm going against like a ton of apps that have been out there for years or whatever, and so trying to like rank again on all the major keywords for this app was challenging, but managed to get there pretty fast, and I think that was part of it.
well, I love widgets and I love the way you've done it. It just makes sense to have a widget for this. And on my main phone, I have a bunch of widgets that I use, but it's just another opportunity. Look at the real estate that you use up in a phone, right? Like versus
Yeah,
an icon that has this little thing, whereas a widget, there's just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And so, yeah, I would say if it makes sense, definitely have a widget functionality. But this looks great.
yep.
And I guess the
Thank-
wallpaper changes depending on certain things are locked. I like it.
yeah, yep.
If I rate it, I love these too. Like this is probably an email thing that you're sending me into
Yep. Yep.
MailChimp.
So this is my wife's like travel business. So that's the other interesting thing that I would recommend. Like, I didn't come into this app like really looking to make a ton of money on it, but like
Mhm.
those are, so your metrics aren't necessarily always like just revenue. So like for us, like it generates about 50 email subscribers a week, which is
Nice.
hugely valuable. And it also generates a fair amount of like travel quote requests, which is another thing that you can do. So just as like kind of a marketing product, it's been great.
Yeah, I like it.
So
All right. I love that. And I love this too, where I can rate. Boom. There you go, Nick.
thanks, appreciate it.
Love it. Love it all, man. Great job. Great job on the app.
Thanks.
All right. I've got some questions for you. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Joe says, Nick, have you ever tried adding your app name to your share image? Something like get your Disney countdown with this?
I haven't put the app name directly in there. Do you mean like on the actual? I had considered like watermarking the actual like
Bonus
image.
image right here.
Yeah, I haven't. I've thought about it, because like a lot of people will save it to their photo library or like put it on like IG, and I don't know if the message that I send in there always goes through. Like the message has the link, but if it's just the image, you wouldn't know. So yeah, I have thought about doing that, and maybe I will actually go ahead and
Yeah,
do
maybe
that.
a nice little watermark. I know the motivation app right here that I always point to, it's doing well, and we got a motivation app that we'll be looking at later as well. They do the same thing, so everything will be okay. I can save this image and pull up this image. Hopefully, I don't have any. So it just says motivation.app at the very top. Nick.
Yep.
So it could be something like that, but
Yeah.
that's what they
Yeah.
do.
That's a good idea.
Subtle branding. All right, cool. Joe is here, like we said. What's up, Joe? I missed you too, man. It feels like I haven't been here in a while. Just 1 week off. But all right, Joe asked Steve, thoughts on the Apps Gone Free campaign with a rewarded video ad to get the IAP for free. Joe, so here's what we've been doing with one of our clients too is we'll run a promo where, we're giving away virtual currency. Once you get that virtual currency, you claim it, it automatically goes to your account. And then there's another pop-up that says, want to double that bonus that you just got by watching a rewarded video, or do you want to buy something with an in-app purchase? And we're seeing really good CPMs and a really good uptake on people just watching those videos. So that's how I would start combining this App Gone's Free campaign with giving away something like this, and then putting awarded video on the back end. I'm not sure if that's what you mean in particular, Joe, but that's what's working really well for us. Does that make sense, Nick?
All right. Yeah, that's a cool idea. And
right.
I've done the apps gone free for a few other apps over the years. And it's on my list actually to do it for this one. I need to get a hold of them and try to set that up because I've had really good results with that in the past too for other apps.
Yeah. And then Ram's here. Good morning, everybody. First time watching live. Glad you're here, Ram. And then Romaine is here. Rassi, last week was lonely. Glad to be back. I'm glad to be back, my brother. And then Kevin's here. Hi from Florida. How you doing, Kevin? Ram says, Nick, you never got in trouble for using the word Disney?
Well, so actually, yeah, I did. So that was actually one of the early hurdles. So like they're actually, you can use a brand, but it has to be like after like the word like for or a few other words. Like it has to be obvious that like you're not like co-opting the brand. So like my app is Countdown for Disney Vacation. So it's like it's basically they want you to state that it's like a product where it's sort of accompanying this thing, but you're not actually the brand. And that was okay. So I went like for a few rounds with the app review team, which I kind of expected would happen until I got to the right, combination of words that they were okay with.
Yeah, I like it. And then Rassi's from Kenya. Good to see Rassi from Kenya, all the way from Kenya. Leandro, what's happening, brother? I think, Joe, you might have already done this, but Joe says, Nick, I'd recommend putting some slight typographical hierarchy on one-time purchase for lifetime access. So I think this referring to pricing page that we're looking at too.
Yeah, I had considered maybe, having some kind of tiered thing. It didn't seem like I had enough. It doesn't feel like I have enough value in the in-app purchase to justify like a subscription yet, or like a different tiered purchase. So I've been kind of thinking about like other features maybe I could add and then have enough that I could make a tiered thing. So I definitely thought about that, and it's something I'd like to do if I can get to the point where I think I have enough features to justify it.
One thing I want to point out, make sure you guys got, was Nick, shared that, hey, look, a lot of his online purchases were coming from the onboarding screen. And then he also, to 5x his revenues, he also increased his price from $1.99 to $3. And the same results show with another app that we audited on YouTube, Dante from Focus Bites. He said he increased his revenues by 300% because he didn't feel confident enough. And I hope to impart on you guys, hey, feel confident in the app that you built. You spent a lot of time. Nick, you did a phenomenal job on this. And so don't undervalue yourself. And he increased his prices, and that he was able to increase it by 300%, his revenues. So don't be afraid of charging a little bit more. From what we've seen, and this is early on in the days too, you guys have stats right here, is 99 versus 199, and even now Nick is showing 299. There's not a huge amount of difference. Yes, you might get less conversions, but you're going to make more money. So just keep that in mind. Don't undervalue what you're selling.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you can always go back. So right. It's not like once you switch to a higher price, like that you're locked into that forever. So like if if it doesn't work out, you can always go back. But I really think there's some kind of psychological thing where it's like, because I've been trying to figure this out for years, like why is that the case? And I really think it's mostly just that people subconsciously value something higher when it's a higher price. Like 99 cents they see and they're just like, oh, I mean, it must not be that great if it's only $1. But once you ratchet it up a little bit, they go, oh, actually, maybe it is, maybe it is worth it, that I should actually get this right now. Don't underestimate that for sure.
Pressy is from France. How's it going, Pressy? How you doing? And then Aditya is, I'm looking for some iOS developer who can create screencast, TV cast for me. I'll play good. All right. Nick, do you do any of that stuff?
I do usually do mostly like larger clients. It's been a while since I've done kind of sort of like one-off things. But I'm always happy to talk to folks, and even if I can't help, sort of point them in the right direction. So
all right,
get in touch.
Cool. Well, since next year, you got to go velociraptor.co. That's his website. All right. Joe says, have you ever tried adding your app name? Oh, we already went through that. Joe says, yep. I mean, the actual image watermark. John is here. Star Projectors. How's it going? Croatia. What's happening, Nick? And then Romain's from France. Yeah, I know that. All right. Well, Nick, let's get into my favorite part of the show. We'll take a look at the apps. Now, if you guys want to get your app audited, all you got to do is go to appmasters.com/audit, appmasters.com/audit. Even if you do the free version, we've seen really good results. And that's what we're bringing people back on. I was like, Nick, where did you find this stuff? He's like, I just, been watching your shit and listening to your podcast. And I just pick up random tips here and there. And he's been implementing it. So it wasn't one thing. I was like, did we look at your app? He's like, nope, not at all. And so, but if you want for us to audit your app, definitely check out appmasters.com/audit. Dante Focus Bite, he did 300%. So I'm super excited for him as well. And we just did a free one through YouTube and he was able to grow at 300%. All right, let's get into some of the app audits that we have for today. But before we do that, I've got a dad joke. Nick, do you have any you have kids, Nick?
I have 3, but I'm not great at dad jokes. So I'd love to hear. And I love yours though. So I'm ready to hear it. I'm excited.
You don't have to say that. All right. I tested out on my kids. Okay. If they laugh, I'm like, all right, well, that's good. I'll go with my favorite one. And there will be some cursing here. So just know that. All right. Nick, what did the doctor say to the constipated detective? What did the doctor say to the constipated detective?
You got me.
No shit, Sherlock? All right.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your laughter. I appreciate that. All right. Let's get into the apps that we have. We've got Nikolai. Oh, he's here in the comments. Perfect, Nikolai. And then so if you do get audited, we will email you guys, hey, join us because we want to get your thoughts on this. So Nikolai is here. I saw that. All right, Nikolai. So we've got your app right here. He wants feedback on UI UX. So Spontaneous is his app name. Random quotes. Looks like a motivational app quote. If I'm not mistaken, let's just see when he launched this thing. Shall we, Nick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, November 2020. That's pretty good.
All right, so pretty recent.
Pretty recent, just like you. And I like that you just launched it too in November. Just out of curiosity, does your wife have a digital product that she sells, or is it just all through the agency, the travel agency?
She just books travel right now. I mean, we've been talking about potentially doing some physical products, like sort of in the next year.
And that's another digital. Would be interesting.
Yeah. We played with a few little digital things, that like a trip planner kind of print out, like PDF thing to print out and that kind of stuff. But so nothing really huge yet, but probably more so in the future.
Okay, cool. So anything on this end? Generate quotes, save quotes, widget support. I think if I'm looking at this, Nikolai, the screenshots are not like sexy to me. You know, it's like, well, what do I want? Like, what am I getting? I don't like where's the benefit? Generate quotes. Nobody wants to generate quotes, right? And so like, where's the big win for me on some of the features?
Yeah.
Nick, I think you did a great job. Count down to the days. Obviously, this is what you're looking for, right? And so you're sort of regurgitating to the user, hey, you know what that you're looking for? This is what we're going to tell you. And here, Spontaneous, just random quotes. Like, we want to be motivated. We want to feel good about ourselves. So think about like how you can add that type of stuff into the screenshots.
Yeah, usually the way I try to look at these things is like, number one, like I think you've mentioned it a ton, and it's definitely true, is like most people won't read your description. Like they'll see your screenshots. Yeah. And like really the way I try to think of it is like, okay, if somebody's searching for this, they know what they're looking for, and most people on the App Store, I don't think are trying to they're not just browsing and looking for stuff, they're searching for something specific. And so really the goal is like, figure out how to convince them that your app is the best one to get. Why is yours better than all the other ones that they're going to be scrolling through or whatever? And sometimes it's tough because there's hundreds or thousands in that search results list. So yeah, I totally agree with that. More of sort of the value prop kind of in there would be great.
Right. And then like, look at this motivation app, right? Obviously they rank really well. I did a little video on this already, but motivation for every situation, get daily quotes for positive thinking, add widgets. And so it's bam, 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 kind of like what you're trying to say too, Nicola. But at the same time, like there's no benefit to why I'm getting these quotes. What am I trying to feel because of the quotes that you're trying to show me? So think about that and then adding that to your screenshot. Let's get into your app, shall we? Spontaneous. All right, first time user experience. Tap here to generate a random quote. Okay. Again, there was no onboarding screen. And what did we just talk about? Nick just showed you, right? Like, where's all the revenues coming from? So let's see what happens, Nick. Always get married in the morning. That way, if it doesn't work out, you haven't wasted the whole day. Okay.
I like that little animation. That was cool.
Yeah, I like that too. I don't know where the pricing is. And what's this source code? That's crazy. Okay. Interesting.
Oh.
So it looks like there's no pricing whatsoever on this.
So is there a purchase on this? Is there an upgrade?
I don't know. I don't think so. Comedians are the lucky ones because if you're funny, you can be 125 years old and they'll still accept you. So these are really random quotes.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. That shifted so I can share it. Joe, jump in here. And Nick, jump in here too. I don't like the UI and UX. I think the colors are a little bit offsetting to me.
Yeah.
I don't like this blue on white. I kind of just think a clean look is better for me, but it seems a little bit, I don't like the color scheme.
Right. Also, like, what's going on in the lower part there? Is there like, there's like 4 buttons, but then underneath that, is that tabs?
Yeah, there's 4 buttons that allow you to like do certain things with the quote. And then these tabs are like my saved ones, and these are the settings. And Nicola said it is a completely free app.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. So UX wise, I feel like it's kind of strange to have tabs and also have all the buttons down there towards the bottom. It's almost like I get what people say, like that's kind of reachability wise, it's like the easiest place to have things, but they're number one, I feel like they're way too close to the tabs, so you're probably likely to like accidentally hit one thing when you meant to hit another one. But just visually, it's a little bit strange because like at the bottom you have all that going on, and then at the top there's like nothing.
I was going to say the exact thing. I think it's because they're so close. Like the motivation app that I reference, and I guess this is where you're pulling from, they're kind of close too, but it's okay. They're showing me ads now. I like it. And I think you can, right? Like, how are you going to make money, Nicola? So like they don't have tabs, but it becomes clear, like a distinction, and you could see the buttons are a little bit down here. I personally would probably just make them closer if I were you, Nicola. So like bring this blue up closer to the quote, and then it looks better. There's some more distinction between the two.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of have them like centered like vertically centered in between the bottom and the quote there. Something.
Why haven't you monetized? Why aren't you monetizing? So tell me that. I know there's a bit of a delay, so maybe you can answer that in the comments, and I'll say hi to Trick Drama. Good to see you. It's not the same without you. And then Kalyani, how's it going? How you doing? All right. All right, we got some comments. Patrick says the border around the quote makes the screen look more empty. I would just do black text on white, or yep, I agree. I think black text on white, good enough. Like you don't need that little border, Nicola. But I would also try to get you to try to charge for this, whether it's through ads or different categories, because ultimately, unless you're trying to just get a job and be like, look, I built an app and that's cool, right? What is the end goal for this? Nick kind of said, hey, my end goal was to help my wife and her agency. So there's email involved and getting 50 emails a day. That's a huge win for them. And so it's a different source. They're using the app as a different source, and he's making revenue with the app too. But what are you doing? What's your ultimate goal for this? If it's just to have an app out there, fantastic, amazing. But from what I can see, it might not be generating as many downloads. And I'm just basing it on the reviews that I've seen or the lack thereof. And so what is the ultimate goal that you're eventually trying to get to? And if it is making money, and maybe it's just a few $100 a month, that's fine, but that's a cool thing. And that's a resume builder than just, I feel like, than just having an app out there and just being like, look, I can make code app. So I don't know. Okay. Well, Nikolai said was to get a job. I could kind of sense that because you look so young, Nicola, but I think, yes, that's great, but make some money, man, because then you can say, look, I'm making money from this app, and it's, I don't know. I just feel like it's a win-win all around. So the app looks good. Obviously you know how to code, and it looks amazing, the code that you're doing, these little animations. So just think about making a little bit of money, because then I think it'll get you a job faster too. All right.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. I mean, the one thing I always try to tell folks that are just getting into software is that, like, people that are just getting into software tend to undervalue their their skills, their their output, everything. Like, it, I totally agree. I'd try charging something for some part of it and just see what happens.
Yeah.
If nothing else, like, you'll learn how to do in-app purchasing and all that stuff, which from a technical standpoint is valuable to learn also anyway.
I love that. And I like that you said it that way, Nick, because then even if you had just subscriptions, you understand you can get a job with an app that has subscriptions. You understand all these parameters too. And then, what I would say, Nicola, is one of my first jobs or second jobs I ever landed. So I started a business back in 2004. That's how old I am. I was like mid-20s. And essentially, I didn't put it on my resume. And I was talking to somebody at a company and she's like, why don't you put this in your resume? And I was like, I started selling decal stickers online. I was ranking really well for Spider-Man and all that stuff. And I sold money and I sold a bunch of them and I wasn't making that much money. So I was like, I wasn't making that much money. I never put it on my resume. And she's like, you should add that to your resume. And so the fact that you have this app is great. You should add it to your resume. But if you can even show that you make money from the app, man, that's going to make you so much more appealing from a job candidate, because pretty much everybody's going to know how to code for the job that you're trying to get. But you can show an app, it's getting downloads, it's making money, blah, blah, blah. And you just become more attractive to anybody. All right. Joe agrees. Definitely monetize it. All right. Joe says, for those who are watching, listening, those 4 circles should be integrated within the quote box. No need for the copy button because that should be within the share box. Okay. Like that. And then settings shouldn't be a tab bar item. Branding should be up top with setting button in the top right. I like that. All right. Thanks, Joe. Anything else you want to add, Nick?
No, I think we covered it all. I think there's some good feedback for me to take forward.
All right. We got an Android app that we're going to take a look at next. All right. Cool. All right. Another dad joke. All right, guys. Give me a 5 if you like the dad joke. Give me 1 if you think it sucks. And then I will give it to you. Find a good one. All right. Here's a kid one that maybe this one, Nick, my son really liked. He's 13 years old, though. Keep that almost 13. He really liked this. Okay.
All right.
All right. Again, leave in the comments. Number 1, if you didn't like the joke, you thought it was super lame. 5, you thought it was pretty cool. All right. What happens when you fight a dinosaur, Nick? What happens when you fight a dinosaur? You get Jurassic kicked.
Excellent.
He's like, hey, it's like cursing, but not cursing. All right. You get Jurassic kick.
I'm gonna be using these on my kids later, so thanks.
All right, I'll give you another one for the kids then.
All right, great.
All right. Every 5th quote, you display a full ad screen. Yep, I like it. Just to remove ads is good enough, Nicola.
Yeah.
So, name, hello, you're late, but hello. Patrick likes it. Thanks, Patrick. All right, let's get into some other ones. All right. Division calculator. So that's what this app is. And who's the person? Marwan, UI UX. So division calculator with remain. All right. So it's just like, hey, I've got a long division. Just help me out. Now, the thing is, it kind of shows me how to do it. So I can just copy and paste and put it. All right. Do my math. Nick, it's like, geez, man, when we were kids, we had to use a calculator. We had to show. We couldn't use a calculator. Now these like kids get everything.
Yeah.
It looks like show solution for division, multiplication. I think from a UI perspective, I like it. I get it from what I'm seeing. I think maybe some words just to be like, we do all the work for you, or we show all the math steps to get to your answer might be more appealing. I get that you're kind of visually showing it already, Marwan, but I would probably put some words onto it as well. And maybe it's like, hey, reminder. Yeah. So you get the answer and the work all in one screen. There you go. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like, I would lean more towards like the learn or educate, like I don't know if I don't know if they use the words learn or learning like in the title or in the subtitle or anything, but like this is a learning product, I think, in my mind, right? Like if you're just like, an engineer and you need to do long division, you're just going to pump it into the calculator. Like this is not for you. Like this is for people that are trying to learn how to do this by hand, I'm assuming, like kids or whatever. And so I think I would play that angle up way more as far as kind of how you promote it and how you write about it and explain it.
Nobody wants to know about like cheating. Nobody wants to think that they're cheating. But yeah, I like that angle too. long division calculator, added multiplication, addition, and subtraction. All right, looks like there's a market for this. Look at this, math long division. There's 99 cents. So a lot of these are paid. He's getting good reviews. Let's see how many downloads. 50,000 downloads. All right, Marwan, pretty legit
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, out in New Jersey. Okay,
That's awesome.
congrats. Yeah, so far so good. All right, let's take a look at the app. Let's see how it's making money.
All right.
All right, got it here. Got my Android. Oh, okay. Oh, you can't see my screen. This Android, I swear. Okay, there you go.
I see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, just taking a little bit. All right, here we go. Okay. So got an ad up here.
Yeah.
Divided by 63. Wow, that was fast. I didn't have to press equals.
That's cool.
That is cool. And then when I press equals, it shows me all this stuff.
Oh, that's very neat.
Play. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So it is a learning. I would probably put this in the maybe some video or like play mode where it learns like in the screenshots, because this is a pretty cool element. Like you are really learning from this. I should give this to my son.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first screenshot, if you go back, was just like the number pad, right? Which is like
right.
It's not visually like really the most interesting thing. If that's the only screenshot you see, you're just like, okay, this is a calculator. Skip.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the second one where they start showing like the actual.
I'm sorry.
Is like really like the money screenshot, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's more like learn from it. We show you step by step how we got to the answer, right? Like it's like boom, boom, boom. I love this visual, Marwan. This was awesome. Okay. So the back, I'm going to hit back up here. And then looks like there's no way to make money. It's just all ad based. So I'm curious to see how the ads are doing, but let's try to do this. 3. I love that the answer shows right away. That's a great feature.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, equals. Love it. That's so cool. All right, I like this. Let me give you a more complicated one. One more. 95 times 52. That's awesome. And then we can hit play. 0, 1, carry the 1. 19, 5, carry 2. 47, boop.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this is really cool. I think one thing that I would do is, look, I have a friend who's sort of in this space, but he does charge a subscription and he's making really decent money. I think what I would try to do is even as simple as a remove ads, I would try to do that. Look at his settings is so buried. That's a UI thing that I was trying to find the settings tab. I couldn't find it, but here I found it right here in this play. So it looks like you can share more apps, key press 100%. What is this? 100. I don't know what these buttons are for. Oh, wow. Like if you wanted a 90%, like you mess up.
Oh,
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. What do you think?
I don't.
Oh no, it's just how big the text is.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, that's weird. Please rate more apps.
I like that you get right. He gets right into it. Like there's no onboarding, but on the other hand, like it'd be kind of cool to have, even if there was like a tutorial that you could bring up or something that just had like,
right,
I don't know, like a few like animated GIFs or something that showed it and explained different things you could do.
Yeah, just the animated GIF of this, right? Like the long division and showing the long division playing right now. You know, see all the work done for you. I would move the settings somewhere else, Marwan, because the fact that you're hiding it in here, I don't know if you eventually want to do like a simple remove ads, but that alone, charging $2.99, $1.99, $5.99, don't charge $1.99 or 99 cents for this, but that alone could help out. And you have so much real estate on this main page. Like the buttons are huge, right? Like my mom would want these size buttons. I know you guys can't see it on my screen. On your screen, it's going to pick up soon. But essentially, I would add a settings on this main screen with a possible remove ads to think about ways that you can earn some money just besides the ads. I know it's probably for students, so they can't afford to pay, but I know other apps in this space that are making pretty decent money. And so it's not that like you can't do it either. So think about that.
Yeah. And the other thing is like, I don't know So this is Android. I don't know if he's got an iOS version or if he's going to do that, but Apple has like that bulk education pricing thing that I've heard a lot of people make a lot of money on, where you do an upfront like cost, but it's like if you can enable it for bulk education and like make a discount or whatever. Because this seems like a really cool thing that teachers would potentially use.
Yeah. Right here. So Patrick says you should try to target educators with it. My wife is an elementary school teacher and teaches kids to do long division like this. Yeah, really cool. I have found that the best free trial for ASO is AppFollow. How trustworthy are their traffic measures? So AppFollow, I love them. Their traffic scores are really accurate. Difficulty, I haven't done any tests with their difficulty, so I don't know how to do that right now. Let's see what other things. Not the moment. Joe and Nicola are talking to each other, so I'll stay there. Andy, always good to see you. This division app is far more helpful than the resources are depicting. Yeah, it seems that's what we believe too. It seems to work very well, but your screenshots are not portraying the value. I completely agree. And I think you can charge for this. Like the play button is so cool that you should be able to charge something for this. All right. Andy says, and I know Nick is, what's the feeling protocols on giving credit to other contributors to the app? If there are music made or animators or building the app, should it be listed in the app itself or a marketplace? What are your thoughts, Nick?
I think it depends on if you paid for it or not. Like if it's like a Creative Commons thing or something, like I think in some cases the license makes it you have to put attribution somewhere. But even if you hired somebody to do it, like you're probably not obligated to, but like, I think it'd be cool to do it. I just think in terms of where you're getting that from, like be aware of like what the actual rights are, because you may actually have to put something in there, like in your settings or whatever that says, this licensed by this person or whatever the case. Same thing with some open source tools too.
Andy, I always feel like everybody likes getting some type of recognition. And so do that. If not for just maybe them possibly feeling more involved in the project and wanting to promote you, just sort of do it for that cause alone. So it could be buried in the settings section, credits to blah, blah, blah. I've seen other apps do it, credit to this, music by blah, blah, blah. And so it's sort of just giving credit. And maybe, yeah, he said settings credit page. Okay. That's what Patrick says. All right. Yeah, I agree. So give him a shout out. Like everybody likes it. Look, I'm giving a shout out too. Rolando, what's happening? All right. Rolando, if you want us to check out your app, go check out appmasters.com/audit. All right. One last, and people like the Jurassic kicked. Rafi says 5. I got a chuckle out of it. Ram likes the old. All right, Ram. I know, but I was confusing everybody. So I want the thing. The old rating system was like, I wanted a 1 if you thought it was funny, and 5 if you thought it was lame. But all right. Thanks, Ram. Thanks for remembering. I appreciate you. Okay. Got one more deck, and then we got one more app to look at and call it a day. Since you got, how old are your kids, Nick?
My kids are 2, 5, and 9.
2, 5, and 9. Okay, they might like this for you. All right. What do you call a bee that cannot make up its mind?
You got me.
A maybe. There you go. Courtesy of my 5-year-old daughter on Reddit. That's what they said.
Fantastic.
A maybe. All right, guys. Got one last app to look at. Amir, I've talked to you a couple of times on Instagram, so check me out there. Amir says monetization, business structure, UI, UX rating, marketing approach, keywords, how to reach 2 billion downloads. He's got big goals. All right, Amir, let's check this app out. So it's Aspire Live, Go Live, Dream Big, Empower.
Yeah, so this is an ambitious app for sure.
Yeah. So it looks like a live streaming app for authentic, spontaneous, and exciting, whether you're like in a network. Okay. Screenshots need some help. Amir, I have no idea what the app is about just from looking at the screenshots. Obviously, it says go live, big dream, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, like always regurgitate the main keyword you're targeting for in the first screenshot. So if it's a live streaming platform, put that on here. And then what are the benefits for live streaming on your platform versus going live on Instagram, where we already have an audience, or on YouTube, which is what I'm doing. So why would I do Aspire versus all the live streaming platforms out there too? So that's what I would say from this app.
I wouldn't start with this page that has like the login stuff either, because like that's
the point.
Yeah, like that's kind of table stakes for something like this. Like for like a live streaming app, I feel like the first screenshot has to be like a screenshot of live streaming, right? Like, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think, does the web version of the App Store show you videos? I'm actually not sure.
No, it
But
doesn't. If it does have video, we have to look it up. I can look it up
yeah,
right now.
but I mean, either way, like I would write, if he doesn't have, I would say video would be like you have to have a preview video for a live streaming app. I mean, I think that'd be like it'd be a huge miss to not have that.
Yeah, he doesn't have it in the App Store. Doesn't look like.
Yeah, I would totally add that because it's a video streaming app. So like, what better way is there to convey what it does than a video?
Yeah, and your subtitles should have good keywords. Go live, decent, but like live streaming, you have room up on the title to do that. So put that in there too, Amir. And then, you said 2 billion. Look, forget reaching 2 billion. In my opinion, it's like, how do you reach 1,000? Get good engagement, get people to go live. I think too many times the mistake that most developers made is they always focus on more and more downloads. How do I get more downloads? How do I get more downloads? How do I get more downloads? And it's like, you don't need that. Your live platform should be about how do I get more people to go live? That should be the main KPI you're looking at, not 2 billion downloads. Because you can have 2 billion downloads, but not make a lick of any type of retention.
Yeah, totally agree. 1,000 good users, much better than, a billion users that use it for 10 seconds and then just toss it away.
So look at this. He's asking for a lot of like stuff from me. Very stop without like, don't ask for any of that stuff yet. I mean, I haven't even signed up for the app. I said allow for now. It wanted camera access, mic access, and all that stuff. You don't need that yet. So let me sign in first, I believe, before you do all that jazz.
Yeah, 100%. And I've worked in agencies for many years, and so I've worked on tons and tons of apps. One thing that I've seen, without a doubt, like your acceptance rate for those sorts of things goes up drastically if you do a soft prompt first and explain like why you're asking for it. And even like things like push is kind of a thing where there's not always a good place, but like camera or whatever other thing it is way better to ask like when you're about to do it. So like, don't ask for the camera permission until you're going to actually live stream or whatever. And don't ask for contacts permission until you need it or whatever sort of thing. It's better to ask later than to ask up front.
Yeah, I like that. All right, signing with Facebook didn't work. Oh, I don't like this. I gave you my Apple. I guess you didn't get it. All right, let's go with this. Steve P. Young. Amir. Did I spell this right? Okay. Bay Area. All right. San Francisco. I don't know why it's highlighted green.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I don't know why I have to give you birth date, but all right. Yo, Nick, it's almost my birthday, man.
Oh, that's exciting.
All right, well, April 17th is my birthday. But I don't even know how to do January. Like, what's this is like wonky.
Right. Yeah, see, I'm not like crazy about. There's something to be said about like doing custom UI for this sort of stuff. It stands out a little bit, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, Apple's UI for all that stuff is so optimized now that you're kind of doing yourself a disservice by not using it.
Yeah, see, you would know best because I'm not a developer, but there's a lot of this stuff. All right. I don't know what I'm accepting to. the crap, all this freaking info that I got to do just to audit apps. And all right, first, thank you. It's a lot of text, Amir. I have no idea. And the button's not even showing up properly. I don't even know how to get out of this. There are no live users. See, this is why a billion does not matter. Cause like there's so much wrong with this that like, can I watch past live streams? What are upcoming live streams? You got to really engage the user of why they should go live. And right now it's like live. How do I go live? Like, is it something that I can eventually go live on or not? And I wouldn't worry about monetization for this type of model yet. And kind of like Clubhouse with being all the rage these days, like they're starting to add payments now, but like, how did they get engagement? Like first and foremost, think about engagement. With a platform like this, Nick, I always feel like you need a network effect, right? I think the thing that most people aren't talking about with Clubhouse is, dude, they've got so many connections. They raise money from the right people and they got a lot of connections that they're able to bring on these like amazing. I just saw Bieber that was on there, right?
Yeah,
Tiffany Haddish. Yeah. So they've been able to bring on these big influencer celebrities where a platform like this, like who is your connection? Where is your network? Because how are you going to get this out in the wild?
right.
If you haven't, one, raised a lot of money for this, and two, like you don't have the network effect and the network connections to get it out there too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with like an app like Clubhouse is like they're winning on really primarily on content. I mean, their UX is really good and polished, but like without content that people really want to come in and consume, that's almost like a chicken and egg problem. Like, how do you get people to come on and produce content? Is like you need them to come on and there needs to be content that they want to consume. Because like for your average run-of-the-mill person, like if they want to just go live stream something, they're probably just going to go do it on Facebook or whatever, where they already have, and it's pretty easy to do. The other thing that you could potentially do on this is like go after some kind of like specific niche. Like this is just like a live streaming app, and the target market is seemingly like everybody, which is always a hard thing to go after, right? It's like if you can pick somebody, whatever, people that like knitting or I don't know, whatever really specific thing, it's like, then at least you can start with some specific subset of people and target them. Whereas like in this case, like, it's just hard because when you ask what's the target market, you just say everybody. And that's, how do you target everybody? Well, you can't, I mean, just by definition.
No, like in Korea, there's this live stream platforms for e-commerce that's taken off, and I had no idea. And people are starting to bring it to the States. But like what you said, Nick, like it was live streaming for e-commerce. So like knitting, I like it. Like something else that targets women in a way where feel like all these live streaming platforms are for generally male-oriented type of stuff. But like for women, like that category is going to be huge. Like cooking, whatever it is that you want to put your stamp on. I like that idea a lot more. And then you can get to your 2 billions, because then you can get to your good 1,000 users who are highly engaged, wanting to see this content, and then get to your 2 billion later on. But it's really ambitious goals. When I hear ambitious goals, I'm always like, do you have the network? Do you have the funds to reach your ambitious goals? Because I love having, maybe I'm just a pessimist, right, Nick? I love having ambitious goals, but I also want to be a realist too and be like, look, these ambitious goals, these people are going after these ambitious goals. What you don't see is the network that they have, the funding that they were able to receive, and from the, because they got that funding, they have a wider range of network that they have access to. We don't see that stuff.
Yep, totally. Agreed.
All right. Cool, brother. All right, so the website and the app, if you want to check out Nick's stuff, is Countdown for Disney Vacation. So go check him out there, Countdown for Disney Vacation. And if you want to work with Nick, and he's a mobile software consultant, usually works with big companies, but if you want to get his help on anything related, I'm sure he'll guide you the right way if he can't help you out himself. It is velocityraptor.co, Velocity Raptor. Hey, I'm glad I had a dinosaur joke in there.
Yeah, that worked out.
Nick, if the audience wants to connect with you personally, do you want to send them anywhere else?
You can also get me on Twitter. I'm Nick Bona, since my last name's so hard to spell. It's just NickBona on Twitter. And so you can enjoy my content there as well.
I love it, man. All right, guys. Well, so if you guys want us to look at your app, go check out appmasters.com/audit, appmasters.com/audit. And Nick, let's end it with one last joke I've got for you. Thank you for being such a good co-host with all these dad jokes. I appreciate it. Some people just look at me blankly like, okay.
From one dad to another, I can appreciate it,
There was a good dad joke in there. It's like, how do you know when there's like a dad joke happening is when the rest of the family is groaning, but the stranger dad is laughing his butt off. That's how you know it's a good dad joke happening. All right, Nick, what do you call a retired miner? What do you call a retired miner?
What do you call him?
Doug. There it is. All right, guys. Next week, we got Haim coming back from B7 Dev. We're going to break down UI, UX design tips too. And so I'm excited about that one. I'm going to give you some examples, and we've covered a lot of different examples as well through these app audits, but I'll give you some critical mistakes that people are making from a UI, UX design perspective. And it's not necessarily like just usability, but also like key things that are going to really help with your retention and monetization. So stay tuned for that. And Nick, go check out Nick. It is Nick Bona.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Yep. At Nick Bona, Bona. Yep.
Awesome. And it is velociraptor.co. And guys, check out our new service, ASO Masters, if you want to get access to our unlimited ASO. And we've seen really good results there as well. All right. Patrick says, sorry, Steve, going to have to go with the 3 for that one. All right, Patrick, I appreciate that. But guys, have a great weekend. Nick, have a great weekend as well. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this. Hey, man, when you do figure out, I'd love to have you on the podcast to talk about like what happens after that with the email, what you're doing with that. And so if you want to come on, let's do a podcast episode about just like using an app as a funnel to another business. And if you can share some numbers there, that'd be phenomenal.
Sure. 100%. Would love to.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing this, man.
Thanks for having me, Steve. It's been great.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week. All right. Every Friday, 9 a.m. I'm back, baby. I'm loving it. I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.